I've seen some shit on Twitter, I don't really like it. Several of my friends, my peers, my constituents, it's a very popular thing to do now, to rank tier lists of the anime main characters. They're ass. I haven't seen one correct one yet. And I wanna call out somebody in particular. I wanna call somebody out specifically because the reason why I'm making this tier list at all, I hate making tier lists. Y'all know me and power scalers and tier list makers. I hate these niggas, bro. Every time I talk about enjoying an anime, here come a power scaler. But actually, did you know that it was the Gohan's Ki Blast that shut the fuck up? Shut up. You're ruining my favorite anime. We know this person. We love this person. But Afro Senju, you made the worst anime main character tier list I have literally ever seen. Ever. That shit was so bad that I actually have to make my own tier list. As per usual, tier lists are subjective. It is based on the opinion of somebody else. Anybody can make their own, but as much anime as I've watched, as much as I've listened to the masses, I think I have as close as to an agreeable and objectively fair list as possible. Okay, here it is. So I'm gonna do this really quick. Here's what I gotta say. I don't give a fuck about your opinion. I make correct tier lists, or at least close. I can at least make something that people can agree on. And Anya is a C, or a B. No, I'm gonna say a C. Anya's cute, but she's not really a main character. It's more about the show. It's more about the entire show. She pushes the narrative along. It's a fantastic show, but she herself as a main character is just okay. Asta. Now, see, this is where it's already gonna get divided because a lot of people love Black Clover. A lot of people like this nigga screaming too much. To where I don't like Asta, but I do realize he has good main character traits. He goes in, no, he don't go in A. He goes in B. He has simple main character traits. He's not up here. He's not blowing anybody away, but he's doing okay. Bocchi or Baki or Boki or whatever the fuck. Bocchi the Rock. I've seen clips. The show is pretty funny. She does a great job. Her voice actor deserves a Oscar or whatever the voice acting award is. She really be eating that role up. But as far as the show, the premise, and as far as the main character goes, she goes above Anya. She really does fit the premise of the show. She is the main character. Boruto, listen, I'm gonna add a row and I'm gonna call it I don't care. And I'm gonna put Boruto in the I don't care. He's not in D. This isn't like me saying that he's worse than D tier. This is the I don't care tier. This is the, I really don't care about the opinion of anybody. Like, I just don't care about Boruto, right? We're here for Naruto. We only watch Boruto because of Naruto. Like, I don't know a single person who picked up Boruto and didn't watch Naruto. They saw Boruto and was like, huh, this looks like an interesting anime. No, they saw Naruto and they were like, huh, Naruto-san, might have to watch that. It doesn't matter if I don't care if he's good or if he's bad. I don't care. Whatever. Deku, this is a pretty interesting thing because at the beginning, I would have said he's pretty good. In the middle, I would have said he's pretty bad. And now he's kind of in that middle area where it's like, he's grown a lot. Him as a main character is still kind of, he's not where he needs to be. There's something about him that doesn't make me want to, like, I don't feel attached to him as a main character versus like the entire show. And I'll put him low B tier. He's actually below Asta. Now, Denji. I love Denji, but I think I just love Chainsaw Man. He's a very interesting character. He has a lot of growth, especially from the beginning where he's like very simple-minded. You'll know that he goes through a lot of shit. This nigga goes through so much shit, it sucks. I've never seen anybody have it this fucking bad off the rip. Bro been fighting since he was like 6, gave up his goddamn ball sack. Oh shit, I actually have feelings, thoughts, emotions, and something I want to do with my life. I'm gonna put him in A for now, but he might end up the top of B. He goes through a lot of development. As far as anime is concerned, he is in the B tier. He hasn't gone through a lot in just anime. He would be below these two right now. But I see him in A for right now. He might go up. Ed. I don't know who's arguing with this. Nigga rides for his brother. He goes through a lot of changes. He is the quintessential main character. I'm gonna put him in A. S is reserved for like elite.
2 hours later.
Elite main characters, but Ed is OD. Eren Yeager is an S. I don't fuck with how Attack on Titan developed. The fan base got really annoying. There has never, ever been a character who went through this much shit. There has not been a single character who has statically changed, not just changed, but changed the entire course of the show. If you remember, the beginning of the show was about how a young upstart man wanted to become a hero to save his people. And then when he found out about how the future was gonna go, this nigga turned into a fucking legit full-on demon. By himself as a main character changed, right? What started out as what we thought, literally changed the show into like philosophical war crime. This is an S tier main character. Gintama, Gintoki, one of the longest running shows, one of the anime. I feel like you have to put him in low A or high B because anime like this have evolved what anime main characters can do and what they're capable of doing. It's hard for us to rank him as a character because you would have to go and watch the original stuff and not know about the current status of main characters. So I'm actually gonna make another row. This one is called, this is the staple of anime MCs. They are the reason that anime main characters are how they are now. These characters have shaped other main characters. And I'm also gonna put Goku here. That's so obvious, right? These two have shaped the way that anime main characters are. And I put them below A because I feel like A expands upon these two and S is like peak, right? They've done something very unique that no one has ever done before. So I'm gonna go with this. Mr. Italian, Luffy? I'm gonna hold off on my opinion of Luffy. I don't think Luffy is a staple of anime main characters. And I'll explain why when I get to Luffy. Giorno, listen, I gotta say something that y'all might not like. JoJo as a series predicates on the previous main characters. So each JoJo depends, and while they can stand alone pretty much by themselves, I think that it really depends on the world building of JoJo's in the first place, which makes me put him here. Oh, where is Sailor Moon in this, by the way? Sailor Moon also goes into this. She's one of the staple of the anime main characters. I'm not saying he did a bad job. As a matter of fact, Giorno had one of the more interesting ones that I enjoyed, but the main character matters less the later that the show goes on because the world building is so solid, you kind of know what to expect. You really have to blow me away with a character to make me think of them outside of the box of the show. And Giorno didn't really make me think of anything other than, oh, this is JoJo's. There was not a crazy expansion. It was just more JoJo's. Gon! I want to put him in S so fucking bad. I want to put Gon in S so bad, but here's the thing. There are major flaws in Hunter x Hunter. The world building and character development is great, but takes way too long. And we haven't seen Gon in like if you're caught up to the manga, we haven't seen him in about 2 arcs. As far as the main character goes, he destroys the first several arcs that he's in. Hunter x Hunter was just those first couple arcs. Dog, he is one of the most S-tiered characters ever. The way he changes and the way that the show changes and goes from this great story about a young man trying to find his father into this gritty ass like understanding of the world that they're in, S tier. However, as the show goes on and stories get longer and he starts to fade out of the story, it becomes more about the world rather than him. He does start to fall off. He is A. You're rating MCs, not the show? Bitch, were you not listening? Were you not listening to everything that I was just saying? If a show devolves and the main character is no longer the main character in the show, is the nigga the main character? Where are your brains? Where are your brains at? Where are your brains? You want me to just talk about how long they're in the show? Then half these niggas would be just S tier because the moments that they're just in the show, like they own the moment. You have to look at the entire show and then look at the moments that the main character impacted the entire show. It's the same reason that I think Aaron's so high. If I was just talking about Aaron as a main character, I'd probably put him lower. But what he does for the show and how everyone reacts to him, even the months where he's not like running the show, there's like a good bit. Gabby, Mikasa, fucking like the other people, and how they're supposed to deal with Aaron, he would probably drop a little bit because he's not the main character anymore. It's through the focal point of somebody else. But because he's driving the show so much as the main character, he goes so high. Hinata, do I like them? Hell yeah. Probably one of my favorites on this list. Like legit, probably like top 3. I fucking love him. And as far as changes goes, as a matter of fact, I think he is the lens of which how developed the volleyball is getting. Like at the beginning, you know, he can't even return a serve, but yet they somehow still win games. But as they go forward and they face harder opponents, as they get to like stay in the internet, or not international, but like the all of Japan, the country, it becomes, you know, they can't get away with like him not being able to return. So he has to literally learn how to do it as they go forward. However, he is not so much a main character as much as it is a story about a high school volleyball team, just kind of told through his lens, because Kageyama, at that point, you could also argue that Kageyama is just as much a main character. And he also goes through dynamic changes. As a matter of fact, a lot of them go through dynamic changes. So I would say he's B. I'm not sure where I'd put him. I love him as a character. I love the growth and the change, but he's not so much a main character to the show, and he doesn't drive a lot of the changes in it. I'm gonna put him in B. I'll wait until later to kind of decide where I want to put these 3. These 3 are actually all pretty close. Is this Sword Art Online? What is this? Nah, I don't care. Actually, I don't even know. I don't know what this is. So I'm gonna make I don't know. Ichigo is the focal point, most main characters. Everything is through his lens. He is present in almost all of the show, all of the time. And between him and Aizen, they're like the majority of the driving force of the show. Does he change a lot? I wouldn't say change a lot, but he does change. As a matter of fact, I would go as far to say that he's pretty static. I think the way that he is static is very good. He has a very aloof kind of character. He doesn't care about most things until it's like, you know, protecting people. I'm gonna go A. I'm gonna say he's better than Denji. He's up there with Ed. The show goes through Inuyasha. He's really not the main character. It's really Kagome. He doesn't change a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give him a high C, probably below Giorno. He's just not changing. He's cool though. He's cool as fuck, but he's very basic. Like he's very basic. He's like the hot, badass, fucking furry, wet dream that all the girls love or something. I don't know. I can't remember this kid's name. Oh, Conan. Detective Conan. He has been on, like, dog. I think this is the longest running show, right? As far as like episodes wise, like there's not an anime with more episodes than Conan. It has like, it's like 1,700 episodes or something like that. It's like a long fucking show. It's as long as One Piece? Nah, it's way longer than One Piece. It's like double One Piece. I love this show, by the way. I've loved the show pretty much since I've seen it. It was the first in a century. I can't really place it on these because these are series with endings. This is like Scooby-Doo, where it's like every week it's gonna be the same one. Conan is not shaping any of these main characters. So I'm gonna have to put him in I don't care. I don't really care how you feel about him. I guess you can say whatever you want about him. I don't care is not a mean place to put something, by the way. So let's think about it. Do I like Jonathan? Jonathan's likable enough. I'm not really fucking with Jonathan like that. He's not super amazing. Is his personality, like, does he change a lot? No. He's one of the most static characters maybe out there, right? Probably very static. But he does shape, as far as how important he is to the story of JoJo's, he's the most important. He's fucking JoJo. He's like, he's the original JoJo. He's Jonathan Joestar. D isn't fair in the way that everything in the story from that point on is because of Jonathan Joestar and Dio. So I feel like I gotta give him at least a C, but he's not great. Now, does that mean that JoJo's is a bad series? No. I would almost say JoJo's is better because their main character was so bad. Their world building is so good. They have one of the best. If we did like a villain tier, Dio goes so high on the list because that nigga's straight action. I would say Jonathan has the Batman effect, where it's like, that's not a good Batman. It's just the world around Batman is so good and the villains are so good that it makes Batman look good by default. That's what JoJo's Part 1 has. Even though Jonathan's not really doing a whole lot, the world is so good and the villain is so good that it just makes him look better by default. That's what Jonathan has. Now Joseph is a lot better. Has a huge upgrade to personality, has a very dynamic change. It is going through slightly more dynamic changes. But I can absolutely say that he's probably the first JoJo that goes into a B tier. I can't give any JoJo besides this one a high caliber, like a higher rating. All the JoJos have it's the world that's so good. It's the story that's so good, and the main character's not driving. Okay, Jolene, for sure. Jolene's also up there. I would 100% say Jolene is up there. I don't know why Jolene's not on this list. Jolene's also a higher JoJo for sure. But yeah, Josuke, I'm having a hard time deciding between here and here. I would say Giorno's probably cooler. Actually, I feel bad. Jonathan, you're doing more for this story than Anya. I'm sorry. Jotaro. Whoo! I would go as far to say is that he put JoJo's on the map. He like really blew up JoJo's as far as popularity. The rivalry between him and Dio is unbelievable. It's the start of Stans. He's very strong. As far as how he drives the story, he is the most important character to JoJo's, period. He's in 3, 4, 5, and 6 as a legitimate, very strong part in everything going forward. And he's always that nigga in all of them. Well, maybe I would say Dio. Dio's probably the most important person in JoJo's. But can I put him? I'm stuck between these areas because he himself came from Fist of the North Star, right? I will say yes, and he's better than Denji. I would say he did improve on the Fist of the North Star and has a very unique pushing into like being his own main character. Manga, probably up here. Maybe even up here. Actually, probably like right here. I'll put Kaneki here. It's not that he's that bad. It's just the anime fucks it up so bad and that there's no development beyond that for the manga. Rurouni Kenshin. I damn near want to put him in as a staple. But a lot of people don't know him. I don't think he's a staple though, because there have always been wandering swordsmen. I don't think he was the first, and he wasn't the first, stoic, wanting to change his ways type of character, but he is incredibly good at it. Literally, the entire story of Rurouni Kenshin is Rurouni Kenshin. It is Batosai the Manslayer and how he literally changed the world around him. He was fucking niggas up so bad that they had to change the laws of Japan. Nobody gets swords unless they are specifically told to do so. Is he a great main character? I don't know. I don't think I can put him in A. A lot of the story is based on him as like the overarching figure. I'm torn. I can't call him a staple because he doesn't shape main characters. Staple is not in between A and B. Boo. Bad main character. The world building does most of it. No real defining shit. I mean, he changes a little bit. His personality's not cool. Bad main character for a show that falls off. Kuroko changes a lot. Great main character, but is a duo with Kagami. And the world does revolve around the generation of miracles. So I'd put him in high C. Sports anime is always going to be really hard for you to rank a main character really high because they don't do all that much. It's more about like the team environment, unless it's like Ippo. Lelouch, it's either A or S. Literally defines the show. The show runs through him. As dynamic a character as you can get. Same thing with Light. Light makes the show. So now we're here and we gotta talk about Luffy. I just think he's better than a staple of an anime main character because he's still changing, which is super interesting because an anime that's that long, Luffy gets his ass beat a couple times, unlocks new gear, beats character, but he is evolving in the way that he's less stupid every time that he goes through. At least to a basic degree, he thinks about his place in the world. So I think he is better than a staple of anime main characters. I think he's A. You could even easily put him in S. You could put him here. You could even put him here. But I think Gon is sort of the gatekeepers before S. Okay, I would agree with you. I would agree with you. Thinking about it now, I would say he is probably the most impactful A. Soul Eater, it's probably been like 4 or 5 years. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember all that much. I'm gonna put it in I don't know. I really can't, I couldn't give you a definitive answer. I hate that I gotta do this, but Meliodas is D tier. I really hate that because I love Seven Deadly Sins. He just was like really strong and cared about Elizabeth, and he was really strong, and it was the devil's son, and he was really strong. And so as far as a main character, it just sucks. Mom's a pretty interesting character. Great personality and easily likable. He does impact the show a lot because there hasn't been that strong of an Esper. Does he change all of the world? No, not really. So I'm gonna put him here. These four right here are what I would like to call just good main characters. They're not to the point where we have conversations about them like we do this group. We more so just talk about like how cool their fights are, how cool the anime is. But when we talk about these, we're like, oh, that nigga gone? Unhinged. When we talk about Ed, oh, that nigga robbed for his brother. Oh shit, he gave up alchemy. He gave blah, blah, blah. When you talk about, you know, like when you talk about any of these guys, there's usually like an extra element. Flutie is an interesting ass, such a unique anime. This kid changes a lot. He has to stand up for himself because of this bitch ass intergalactic horny ass woman. He is the second most impactful person on the show. I can't give him a super high rating because he isn't really the main character. The actual main character is the woman. I would put him very similarly. I'd actually put him at the top of B. Naruto. I feel like he goes through a lot. He is the main character. He is the entire purpose of the world. I think I have to put him in staple. The difference between him being a staple and Luffy and Ichigo being A tier, they go further. I'm still a little torn. As a matter of fact, yep, I'm changing it. I'm putting him down here. I like this a lot better now. Natsu, I'm not saying he's not like trash. He's worse than Anya. I can't put him in D just because of my heart can't do that. But bro is low C. I saw this like 2 years ago. Yeah, she actually did change the world. She is a very fun character. I would say probably either down here or up here. Saitama. So this is where it gets interesting because I think Saitama is an A tier character. Because of the gimmick. I think it's one of the most unique circumstances in all the anime. There isn't another anime like it. If King wasn't around, he'd be S. That's a great joke. Is he in this category? No. But he's literally like one of a kind. Is his personality good? Yeah, fantastic. One of the probably the funniest on this fucking list. He's the strongest he's the strongest thing in the universe. Ain't nobody fucking with him. Shinji! I don't know where to put him. He kind of a bitch. As far as his personality goes, I don't really like him. But but here's the thing. He do be going through it. He's a crybaby, but he's going through like the most traumatizing shit. Yeah, you know what? That's a great placement. Someone said better than Anya, but not as good as Kaneki. So, for sure. Fire Force, never seen it. I don't know. Food Wars, also haven't seen all that much. I don't know. Boom! Well, let's be honest. As far as the main character goes, he is not the driving force for anything in Cowboy Bebop. He is more so reacting to shit that's happening. But is his reaction, does it make me feel something? And yes, which makes him a better main character. With that being said, is he the actual main character? He is the main character, but he is not an A tier main character. I would put him probably here. In the B plus range. You know what, I'll just fucking make it because I already know. The fucking Twitter people are gonna eat my ass for it, so there we go. Before we even go anywhere, Yusuke the GOAT, dynamic change, personality change, just on some absolute dog mode shit, elite main character, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. If you disagree with that, suck your mom. I don't know what to tell you. Never seen it. Takemichi goes back in time to try and make shit work, but still kind of a nothing burger of a character. The world that we see is literally because of him. There are some pretty big changes. Probably just slightly better than Anya. He ain't better than Shinji. I'm sorry. They the same nigga. Tanjiro. Is it weird to want to call him a staple? Because he is the most cookie cutter, Like, he is the staple of all these niggas right here. Great story, super humble, nice guy, trains really hard to win. A character you love to love, but like, that's it. I mean, honest to God, he's literally Rurouni Kenshin 2.0. Except he didn't start as the final boss, he just ended up that way. Super nice guy, no flaws, lovable, not compelling. Thorfinn, from what I've seen, he's like a B+. He be going through it. Y'all really fucking love him. I'll be willing to give you this. Who is this? I don't know. Who is this? I don't know. I don't know who this is either. Yuji. Yuji's not S tier. Sorry. I understand. I love Yuji's personality. JJK is like a top 5 for me. He is not, like, there are so many other characters running at the same time. There are entire portions of the show where we don't see him. He is B+. There are literal points in time where he's just not in the show at all. I love when he is the main character. I love him as the main character. He is so great. I fuck with him super heavy, but he's not main charactering the other way these other main characters main character. But is the list correct in order? Obviously, I don't know these. Feel very good about this. Feel very good about this. Feel very good about this. I'm a little torn on her in B. I want to put her in C. C is not a bad placement. C is like not bad. D is bad. I love Denji. I love Chainsaw Man. If this was like a personal list, Denji would be A. I'm a little torn in this area. I really like this list though. Probably the nicest placement of Natsu. Part of me does want to put him like up here, low key. You know what? I will keep him here. I'll keep him here. I think I'm okay with this. All right, well, let's tweet it. All right, there's the tier list. If you guys want to make tier lists with us, come hang out. Twitch.tv/YourButtTevin. Yeah, this is a YouTube video, chat. Get your hello YouTubes. Chat, tell them the biggest reason why they should follow us on Twitch and come hang out on stream. Go ahead. He plays Persona. Well, you just ruined it. You ruined the whole thing. Somebody put, if you put light in S tier, you're a cop from America.